Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your July 2016 mid-month readings. I am still, upside down. I am still using my beloved Gilded Tarot deck, and even though we're focusing more on the last half of the month and the month in its entirety, I'm still going to be using the same 8 card spread with an additional ninth card as your crowning card, representing your overall energy and feeling over the reading. Make sure to check your rising and your moon sign as well, because your sun, rising, and moon sign may resonate predictively for you differently. One may be more so applicable than the others in some readings. And check all three anyway, because you may find that different aspects of your sign resonate for different areas of your life, as I often do. So make sure to check all three every month and every mid-month. Thank you to all of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Your support and love and feedback means so very much to me, and I'm very grateful for it. Thank you. And as I always say, keep the feedback coming and the comments. I love reading how the readings resonate so predictively for some of you in the comments that you provide, both the ones on my YouTube video feedback spaces and the ones that you send directly to my email. I enjoy reading those, so keep them coming. You guys are great at that. And a special thank you, as I always say, to those of you who continue to keep me so busy with personal readings. Thank you for the trust that you place in me to intuit and interpret the cards for you. And thank you to all of my clients who continuously keep me updated on their stories and their lives. In seeing and verifying how predictive and applicable the readings are. And for those of you who are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can click on the About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, which will give you some more detail and information about myself and the services I offer and how to contact me. And you can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I love to do personal readings, and I would be delighted to work with you. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. I do readings full time, so I'm able to get back with you quite quickly and schedule a reading in a pretty timely fashion. I'm always asked about turnaround time, and depending on time zones and client reschedules and whatnot, it's anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 days, but almost always within a week. So again, if you're interested, send me an email, and I would be happy to work with you. So let's get right into this reading. Moving on, this is for Pisces for July 2016 mid-month. Pisces, July 2016 mid-month. God, Spirit, Angels, Guides, for the greater good of all, show me the energies of Pisces, July 2016 mid-month. What does the remainder of July hold for the extraordinary water sign of Pisces? My Mercurial Fish, Pisces, July 2016, mid-month. Okay. We have the Five of Swords paired with the Judgment card, the Hermit followed by the Seven of Wands, the High Priestess followed by the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles, followed by the Hanging Man. And from the bottom of the deck, your crowning card, overall theme and energy is the Five of Wands reversed. Interesting. Let's just take a look, Pisces. Okay, let's begin. It looks like some decision-making energy, Pisces, and whether or not to continue a conflict, engage in a conflict, or a fight or a struggle for something. We find ourselves at the middle of July 2016, Pisces, with the Five of Swords. Adjust my light here, paired with the Judgment card. So the Five of Swords. Swords is governed by the element of air. I'm getting a strange glare on my cards. I don't know if that's helping at all. Swords is governed by the element of air. And so Swords is a suit all about that airy, intangible world of our words and ideas, our thoughts, our perspectives, our outlook, how we look at things, our belief systems. And the Five of Swords is a card. It's it's a it's technically a card of victory, but it can represent a rather shallow victory and a temporary victory. And the implication is that it's one battle in a series of ongoing battles. And you can see that this man has won technically. You can see his foes, opponents, enemies, whatever they are, on the ground behind him, obviously defeated. He's gathered up all of their swords and he's holding his own aloft in victory. But it's still a pretty grim picture, the way it looks, his general air, the colors of the sky. He doesn't look particularly victorious. He looks tired, depleted, worn out, exhausted. He's wounded. He's bleeding from a little cut on the forehead. This battle, which he has won, at least for the time being, has cost him a lot. And this card begs the question, is it worth it? And it's not to say that it is or isn't. It's a choice. We live in a free will zone. So at the end of the day, the choice is always yours, Pisces. But this card asks you to consider whether or not it's worth it. And what does it refer to? Well, it's going to play out differently, of course, because there's so many of you watching and you all have different things going on in your lives, and it's going to play out differently for different people. But I feel like it's a conflict of some kind, an argument about something that you feel strongly about, an issue or a subject that you feel strongly about. And this card asks, it shows either the potential for winning or maybe that you've won a small victory, but is it worth continuing? That Five of Swords is paired with the Judgment card, Major Arcana card, significant divine energies here. The Judgment card is a card of caution. It's a call to action, but it's a card of being thoughtful and careful and measured about what you do, how you proceed through something. There's an air of finality about the Judgment card too. So it says that whatever you decide in this situation, however you proceed, do it with as much honor and integrity as you can, but be careful because weigh everything out carefully, the pros, the cons, the advantages, the disadvantages, because this air of finality about the Judgment card means that the consequences and outcomes will be difficult, if not impossible, to come back from. That whatever you do here is going to set the stage for quite some time to come, particularly in defining and setting your character or how other people view your character as well. So it is a call to action, but it's also saying don't be spontaneous, impulsive, and rush into this. Make sure that if this is a conflict or a fight that you choose to go into, that you do it again with the highest honor and integrity, and just be careful how you proceed because you're not going to be able to come back from this one, whatever this conflict is, or this thing that you feel strongly enough about to fight about or engage in some kind of struggle about. Now, right next to that, we have the Major Arcana card of the Hermit, paired with the Seven of Wands. A continuing message here. Take some time. The advice of the Hermit is to take some time to really consider this and consider it carefully. Use your intuition. Use the accumulation of your life's experience. Use your own knowledge of whatever this is and the people involved, perhaps. Use your life's wisdom and perhaps to even seek out advice and feedback from like a trusted sage, friend, counselor, advisor, etc., which is also what the hermit advises as well. The hermit, you can see there's this aged man, because we usually view older people as having more wisdom and insight and clarity than we do because they had a longer time to walk the road of life. You can see him carefully picking his way slowly and carefully across this narrow, dangerous precipice, and he's using the light of this lantern to guide him by. Uh, well, this lantern is symbolic for wisdom, the wisdom that he has accrued from all his long years of life, his knowledge, his experience, his triumphs, his failures, his successes, his defeats, everything that he's learned in life is represented by the light of this lantern. He's using the accumulation of his life's experience to help guide him on this path, which is what you're being advised to do here, Pisces. Um, Maybe take some time to withdraw because this can sometimes be a solitary, lonely path. And when we're making a major decision anyway, it's not really something that other people can be there in that moment with us to choose, even though we can, of course, seek advice and feedback from people that we trust. But it's about using your own intuition, your own experience to decide if this is worth pursuing. Um, and for some of you, this may be quite lonely. It could be that if you decide to go ahead and engage in this conflict or this struggle or battle for something you feel strongly about, that you may be the only one doing it, or you may feel kind of alone on this path. But the hermit is also suggesting you take some time, maybe withdraw a bit, and really contemplate, consider carefully whether this is worth it or not. It's something you feel very strongly about because the hermit is paired with the seven of wands. Now, the suit of wands is governed by fire and air. Very dynamic combination, very dynamic suit. The suit of wands is all about change, movement, action, power, forward momentum. It's a very action oriented suit. It's all about that almost primal manifesting energy that takes our ideas and thoughts and dreams and begins to put action behind them to manifest them. It's like the creative energy. It's a very fiery, action oriented energy. The Seven of Wands is primarily a defensive card. You can see that the man on this card is standing in front of the door to his castle, his keep, his home, his job, his whatever this is that you feel so strongly about. And he's holding his wand up in a defensive posture, not aggressive, but defensive because he feels he's being challenged or threatened somehow by these other six wands. And this represents something that he's defending because he feels a sense of ownership in because he's invested so much of himself in it. It represents defending or standing by or standing up for something you feel very strongly about, and defending that. And so, again, whatever this issue is specifically, it's difficult to tell. We have two pentacles, two wands, one sword, and the rest is major arcana. A lot of major arcana for the card mid-months this for the signs so far. It looks like some pretty important. This is an important thing, not only something you feel strongly about, but something. I mean, we have one, two, three, four major arcana cards here. I just finished Gemini. They also had four. So whatever this is that you're deciding and contemplating, it's significant, and either way, it's going to be a significant life shift or life change, or has the potential to be something you feel very strongly about. That combination of the Hermit and the Seven of Wands. Take some time to really think about this, contemplate this, use your own wisdom and experience to ask yourself if it is worth defending, if it is worth standing up for or fighting for. It might be, it might not be. It's all up to you, Pisces. Now, right next to that, we have the High Priestess paired with the King of Pentacles. It's interesting. Gemini also had the Hermit and the High Priestess. It's like it's all about going within and contemplating a major decision, whether to proceed with something, let something go, hold on to something. For That's what it was for Gemini. For you, it's whether to engage, to fight for something, to stand up for something you feel strongly about. We have the High Priestess who's sitting next to the Hermit. um, both very strong internal contemplative energies going within, looking, trusting in your own experience, your own intuition. That's what the high priestess does. She's very spiritual, very intuitive. She trusts in her own intuition. She trusts that she's being led by the divine, the connections to the divine. She is very experienced and well versed in tapping into that spiritual part of her, that knowingness, and trusting in her own intuition to help guide her through this process, just like the hermit does. Both very internal, contemplative, um, sort of energies, and both sometimes somewhat solitary as well. The hermit can speak of a solitary kind of energy on this path. The high priestess also, she notices almost everything, if not everything, but she doesn't always speak what she thinks and what she knows. It can represent during this process, Pisces, maybe not talking about it so much, just maybe withdrawing and internalizing and not discussing it with very many people if you can help it. But trusting your own intuition, trusting your own experience to help guide you and help you make the decision whether or not this is worth engaging in, or how to find a way to deal with that. And it looks like a practical, grown up, grounded way is called for to deal with it, or um, you're being advised again to go within, maybe withdraw a little bit to consider what is the best way, the most practical way to deal with this. That high priestess is paired with the Queen of Pentacles, which I feel like you're either being called to manifest the energies of the Queen of Pentacles, or it represents energies of trying to find a practical, grounded way to maybe to proceed with this. Or for some of you, this is going to represent an actual individual, and it could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, that helps you, that maybe functions kind of like the high priestess to help you find a way through this or to help you make the decision. Um, Maybe for a small handful of you, this could be somebody who's in this fight with you or with whom you may have to challenge or kind of go against in this. Although I feel like for the majority of you, this is either it's the energy of the Queen of Pentacles we're looking for to help us in this decision, or it's an individual who represents the Queen of Pentacles that's helping you, because it's all about practical, grounded uh, uh, navigation here. Pentacles is governed by the element of earth. So Pentacles is a suit that's all about things in our earthly, tangible, material environment, things we can see and touch and feel. And most often the suit of Pentacles represents things like money, finances, property, resources, job, etc. Tangible, earthly things. The Queen of Pentacles as an actual individual could be an earth sign, sun, moon, or rising, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. This is somebody very capable, very hands-on with the day-to-day life, the material, practical things of life. If I were to describe her as an actual individual, she would be the one who's uh, married, works a part or full-time job. She does it beautifully, but her home is always looking well. The kids are always dressed nicely. The roses are always trimmed. The lawn is always mown. Her She throws wonderful parties, and she finds time to volunteer twice a week at the local whatever. She's very good at that material, day-to-day handling life. Very structured, very organized, but nurturing too. Good mother, good wife, good friend, etc. She's just one of those. She just seems to be good at everything she does, particularly in being organized and efficient and just managing life. Uh, so again, for some of you, this is going to be an actual person who's helping you, who's going to play some kind of significant role. I feel beneficial in helping you make this decision, or who is in this with you in terms of team and partnership. um, or you're being asked to manifest the energies of the Queen of Pentacles, because it's a queen too. This is a mature, grown-up, reflective energy. Queens and kings have reached the mastery of their suit. She's very good at what she does. So in terms of going within and utilizing the energies of the high priestess, knowing intuitively what to do, finding a practical way to deal with this, and if you choose not to also engage in conflict, because there is a bit of a theme here, the advice I feel is kind of like, is this really worth it? Perhaps you should be the grounded, practical, mature one and not engage in this conflict. But for some of you, you're going to make the decision to engage because, again, it's something you feel very strongly about. Now, at or towards the end of July 2016, Pisces, we have the Knight of Pentacles, more of that lovely earth energy, paired with the Hanging Man Major Arcana card. So the Knight of Pentacles. So Pentacles, again, earth energy. The knights represent the bringers of the tarot. They're either bringing something or offering something. This knight would be bringing or offering something, because it's pentacles, something tangible, something visible, something material, or something very that can actually be useful. Kind of like the Queen of Pentacles, although not quite the same, not quite as, the energy isn't quite as mature as the Queen of Pentacles. Um, this can also represent sometimes, maybe sometimes kind of a sense of boredom, although I'm not actually getting that here. I feel like you're at or towards the end of July 2016, Pisces, this could be, again, another earth sign or the same earth sign, who's giving you support during this, who's really being a source of support, a good source of guidance and feedback. I think for some of you, I'm getting the feeling that kind of the energies of the High Priestess, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles are kind of almost all connected in one person that's significant to you in whatever this issue is. Or you're being asked to trust in your intuition about somebody who's actually a source of support, or who's offering a source of support, or who's making some kind of tangible offer to help you, especially if you're engaging in this fight or conflict or battle of some kind. They may be offering, perhaps for some of you, it's a tangible offering. Maybe it's a gift of money or finances, some kind of resources to help you make this fight. For some of you, this conflict is going to be an actual legal issue. It could be a legal, because we have judgment there too. It could be a legal issue about, I just got property. For some of you, maybe it's a legal issue about property. It could be about children, custody. Uh, you're trying to make the decision about whether or not this is worth pursuing, how to do that. And it looks like at the end of July 2016, you're going to be given some kind of assistance or resources or help of some kind. I feel like that's more for people who decide to engage in this battle, whether it's more informal and casual, or whether it's an actual legal in court sort of battle. You're going to be receiving help or an offering of help, tangible help. And again, it could be resources or finances to help you, maybe with court costs or fees, or whatever this is about. You'll have to let me know, update me. You're going to be getting some kind of help or an offer of help at the end of the month. But it looks like you're still going to be at the end of July 2016, or even going into the beginning of August. There's still a sense of waiting or of limbo, and it could be that you're feeling now is not the quite, it's not quite the right time to jump up and, put the gloves on and start fighting. Or you're being advised to maybe wait just a little bit longer for those of you for whom are determined to go into this, and fight this fight, or stand up for what it is you feel strongly about, or defend something. It looks like the next couple of weeks is about kind of maybe getting things in order, kind of contemplating it some more, being very careful, weighing things out, maybe planning things. It doesn't feel like it's quite the time for action yet. Perhaps I think August will probably see more of that. It looks like this is more about fact gathering, making decisions, laying the groundwork, getting the resources and help together. And at the end of July 2016, taking a bit of a breather, not quite time for action yet, because that Nine of Pentacles is paired with the Hanging Man. This can be an energy of maybe feeling stuck or feeling in limbo, but I'm feeling more that it's more advice energy, that it's more about, okay, these next couple of weeks, again, thinking, considering, weighing things out, making decisions, laying the groundwork, seeking some advice, pulling the resources together. And so you're at the end of July 2016 now. You've gotten stuff together, and it's just kind of, I'm feeling just advice that, okay, take a breath, get ready. It's not quite the time for action yet. You just got to wait just a little bit longer before going in. I feel like August is probably when the action's going to start for those of you for whom this is legal. It feels more like the action in terms of actually battling this out is going to come next month, that the next couple of weeks, again, making the decision, weighing things out, figuring out the most practical, grounded, step-by-step way to do it, getting the resources together, and then taking kind of a bit of a breather, a break. Um, I don't feel like this is the month to be spontaneous or impulsive, and quite the opposite is what I'm feeling, at least right up until the end of the month, going into the beginning of August. You're being asked to wait and not engage just quite yet. And that's echoed, I think, by your crowning card too, which is the Five of Wands in reverse. In the upright position, again, it's that fiery energy of Wands. In the upright position, this can represent a lot of different things. It can represent improving skills by working with other people. It can represent needing to have more fun. But it can also represent conflict, petty, circular, internal kind of conflict, not serious in terms of anybody wanting to kill anybody else. I mean, you can see these five men they're in a circle and they're sparring with each other. They're not real swords, they're just practice weapons, but they're sparring. It can represent just circular, ongoing conflict. Nobody winning, nobody losing, nobody being the victor, nobody being the loser. It's just kind of internal, circular sort of energy. Little battles. In the reverse position, it can represent an overcoming of that, a blocking of that, advice to kind of, again, I'm feeling like this is not the next couple of weeks, Pisces. It's about not engaging in this conflict, even if you have been up until now or you're contemplating it. If it's something you feel very strongly about and something you feel you need to fight for or stand up or defend, that's not a bad thing. But I feel like the next couple of weeks, it's about either not engaging in conflict or withdrawing from conflict that you've been in and just kind of figure things out in a little bit more of a grounded, practical way, get more of a cohesive plan, get your resources, get everything together. It's not about this next couple of weeks is not about the conflict, not about spontaneous, impulsive energy. We have that with that Five of Wands in reverse, also with the Hermit, with the High Priestess, with the Hanging Man. Again, I feel like actually probably a lot of you are going to make the decision to proceed with this, but the next couple of weeks, it's all about getting things in a row and making sure that you're going to be as careful um, and methodical as possible about how you do this. But I feel like the actual engaging isn't going to come until the very end of the month or in August, actually. So it's just about gearing up, making sure this is what you really want to do, making sure you're going about it in the most practical, efficient, grounded way, getting all the help, the feedback that you need, pulling all the resources together. Looks like you're going to be getting some assistance or offers of assistance and maybe resources at the end of the month or by the end of the month. And then again, it's just about taking a breath. And next month, I think, is where the action is going to come in. So we'll see how it continues to play out then. So, Pisces, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I hope it's brought you some wisdom and insight and clarity and that you found it useful in some way. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, again, you can click on the About sign on my YouTube channel's homepage. That'll give you a little more information and detail in my email address too, which is Maggie, the number one, McGuire@gmail.com. If you're interested, you can send me an email and we will go from there. I would be delighted to work with you. So I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the August 2016 general readings. And until then, as always, Pisces, thank you for watching. And I wish you joy, peace, happiness, and beautiful, blessed life. And I'll see you soon. Bye.